If you've got a facelift Fiat 500 and you've got a factory fitted stereo like this, how would you fancy one like this? And all singing, all dancing, completely OEM looking, beautiful, quality replacement Android with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, GPS, FM, USB, Wi-Fi, you name it, it's got it. The only thing it doesn't have is DAB, but you can add DAB+. Absolutely stunning. Come and see what we've got, what we've bought, which you can see right there. We'll unbox it and then we'll show you how to install it. Well, that looks the part, doesn't it? Looks nice. What's the back like? So there's your power. That's unusual to have power wires like that. Bag of wires. So we've got a microphone. One of the connectors, which has got aux input, amplifier wire, audio, out, aux in, microphone, audio, video, subwoofer. One of the USB cables. Oh, that might be what that red and white one's for. Yep, the USB cable. And another USB cable with, yeah, so these are the flying leads, which are never long enough. They just end up sitting in the footwell. GPS antenna, because it's obviously got GPS. And then this will be the main wires. And in there we have, what's this I dropped on the floor? Sort of an aerial connection, but it's got a jack plug on the end, so I'm not quite sure what that's for. We've got the CanBus box there. And then we have the main, don't know what the white one's for, parking brake, to watch videos when you're on the move. Not yourself, obviously, if you're driving, not ideal, but if your passenger wants to, all you've got to do is send that to ground, the parking brake, just earth it somewhere. Auto antenna, if you've got an amp, I believe you connect that to the amp, that powers the amp. Key 2, I think, key 1 and key 2, I think they're for this. Don't know what that is, that might be something to do with that as well, no. Yeah, no doubt we'll find out what these are. Is it saying it? HDT, excuse the bird noise. Yeah, we'll look forward to installing this. Right, we're going to start taking this all off now so we can get the stereo in. So what do you have to do to get that stereo out? So we have to take this off. Now to get this off, we have to take this off. So what I do is I turn all of the dials as far as they'll go to the left, and then we use a trim tool to take that off. Under there are then 2 screws. You undo those 2 screws, and then under here we've got another screw there, and then this will just pull off. Let's get that done, and then we'll go through how we actually get the stereo itself out. Right, before you touch any of this, anything electrical in a car, before you do that, you first must take off the earth terminal off of the battery. That's just to prevent anything going wrong. So once you've disconnected that, as I said, you turn all of it. It doesn't matter whether they go all to the right or all to the left, makes no difference, but I always turn them all to the left. Now you get yourself a trim removal tool. Don't be tempted to use a screwdriver because you will probably damage either this or the surround. So you get your trim tool in there, give it a bit of welly, and then eventually it will just pop off like that. There you go. And you can just leave that there. Doesn't get in the way, just leave it there out of the way. You then get, I believe it's a T25. I might be a liar. No, it is a T25. Take those out. What is a good idea to do, actually, which I'm going to do, is put a cloth down there. Because if you was to drop that T25, it's going to end up going down the back of your heater matrix, which you don't really want to do. So just on the off chance, I'll put that there. Undo this one. Stick them in there out of the way. It is easy if you do it from the passenger side, but that's where I've got the camera. So I just need to find the screw, which is there. He says, I've got the sun in my eyes, I can't see. There we go. Take that one out. On the facelift, on the pre-facelift car, there are more screws. On this one, there's only the 3, I think. Hang on, is there another one there? Actually, it might be this one as well, just to be on the safe side. There are 2 here. I'm not sure if they both, I think one of them might be to hold the what do you call it, this parcel shelf thing on, but I'm going to undo both anyway, he says. I think it is actually this one, but I'm going to do them anyway, so I'm not sure. So better to be safe than end up breaking it, isn't it? So we get those, and then what we can do is we can get hold of this. Probably best to use a trim tool in various places. You could probably yank it. There we go, just like that. And then the best thing to do is take that out. I don't think we're looking at this, are we? Hopefully you can see me. Undo the electrical connection, pop that out, and then we can get this piece of trim out of the way. There we go. And stick that on the back seat out of the way. Now the next thing we have to do, we got 4 screws which hold the surround. So the stereo goes in first, and then the surround goes on afterwards. So we've got one there, one there, one there, and one just there. So let's get those undone. It's a bit of a cumbersome tool to get into some of these places, but it's that one. As I said, it was a T25 Torx. You could use a manual one if you haven't got an electric ratchet one, it's just quicker with this. And obviously noisier. Right, that's those, and now that surround should just pull off. So as we are putting in a 7-inch screen, although it's an aftermarket one, it is 7-inch, and it's designed to fit the 7-inch housing. Now before I order one, I will double check just to make sure, but as far as I'm aware, it is a 7-inch unit which fits into the 7-inch. This is for the 5-inch. So if you are replacing your stereo with an Apple CarPlay Fiat one, which you can do, you need obviously to change that as well. They often, when you buy them, they often come with them, but they are quite expensive. Second hand, they're about 75 quid. On the stereo itself, we have another 4 which hold that in, so we'll undo those. They're all the same, all T25s. Chuck that in there. could do with an extension on here. But this is a great tool, this. There we go. And oops, just dropped that one. And now the stereo will just pull out, and we just undo the plugs out the back of it. So there we go. So we then, so on the back of here we have an aerial plug and a USB, and then we have the ordinary connector plug, and that's it. That's all we need. Oh, we got a positive and a negative here. A positive is that we seem to have an adapter for the USB, like that. So that it's not very tight in there. So I'm assuming that that will do that. Now the only problem is we have an antenna socket, a normal antenna socket there, but we don't have. We have that. I don't think there's any type of converter plug amongst it. The only thing there is that. Oh, hang on, no, that is it. Yeah, no, that is it. That is a converter. Oh no, I was jumping the gun there. It does come with a converter. So you've got that converter, which then plugs in there. Oh no, that is good. That does work. Okay, I'll take that back. Okay, so in that case, that USB is most likely going to work because we have a converter. Now I don't know which one it goes into. I think they can only go into one. It's going to be that one, I think. Yeah, they only go in one place because they were different sizes. So go around the other way. Yeah, there we go, that's that. Oh, okay. I'll take that back. I still don't know what this thing's for. So, if we take that off of there, don't know how successful this is going to be. Now, one of these plugs will go into the CanBus box. One of them, don't know which one. That one? Yeah, that one goes into the CanBus box. The good thing about these cars, the facelifts, is you've got a much bigger aperture that you can mess around with. So we need to plug in. So we're hoping we don't need to have any different types of socket of any kind whatsoever. I.e. we haven't got to run any extra lives or anything like that. I don't know what that's for. What the hell is that for? So we've got a red and a black, presumably live and an earth, but I don't know what it's for. Because we would like to think that that will just connect to that and work. Only time will tell. So, now, okay. What other cables have we got in here? Oh yeah, we've got lots of other cables, haven't we? So, we've got our trailing USB leads, which I'm not going to worry about for the time being, because at the moment I just want to power it up and see if it works. Don't know what that one's for. No, don't know. That's the trouble. There's so many. You don't get much in the way of instructions, and all the instructions I have got appear to be in Spanish. So we've got the FM plugged in. I'm not going to worry about the microphone for the minute. GPS. We could plug the GPS in, I suppose. Now a GPS antenna doesn't need line of sight. It will work. Well, on the pre-facelifts, what we do is we stick it to the cage that the stereo sits in, and it works fine. For the time being, I'm just going to stick it up there. But my idea is to somehow probably stick it onto the metalwork there. So we'll plug that in, and then we'll tighten it up. We've got a little screw on there that tightens it up. Quite excited about this. Never done one of these before. Okay, now we've got other cables here. So we've got amp, subwoofer, video, CVBS in, microphone. So we do need this at the very least because we need it for the microphone. So we will plug it in. So that is going to be the big one in there, which we'll want to plug the microphone into. Like that. And then we have, this is the trouble with these things, they have so many cables. Now what's this one for? I I think one of these is the Wi-Fi aerial. From memory, one will be the Wi-Fi aerial, and I think the other one might be a 3G aerial of some sort. So we'll plug that one in. Like so. Don't know what the yellow's for, no idea. This is the trouble, we don't know what's what, do we? So that's already plugged in. Parking brake, as I mentioned when I unboxed this, the parking brake one is for if you're going to watch video, it will only work with the handbrakes on. So the way you get around that is just by running it to an earth. Now I'm not worried about that at the moment. We just want to get it to work. So we do also have one coming out of here, which presumably has to go into the one space that it will fit in, just there, which I think is for the CanBus box. Now we might find that our mileage flashes. Let's hope not. So I think that now, apart from plugging the power in, which goes into there, we're plugged in. As simple as that. That's all we've got to do. Turn it up the right way, and I think it will probably work. We've got our GPS antenna, which we need to just sort of get out of the way. But so far, it's pretty straightforward, isn't it? And then we have to plug in the multi-lead into there. I don't know which way around it goes. No idea. There you go, like that. That's it. Right, if we now feed that back in there and just let it sit there for the time being. What was that? Oh no, that's for the other panel, isn't it? So we'll just push all that lot back for a minute. Push them all back. See, that's what I mean, there's plenty of room, unlike on the facelifts. Now that should fit. Yeah, it does. Look at that, it fits. It fits in perfect. Now I'm assuming that oh look, it does. Oh, that's good. That means I don't have to buy a surround. It does actually fit this surround. Oh, that's really good. I'm glad I hadn't bought one already. Oh, that's good. Okay, right. We are naughty because I haven't disconnected the power. So do as I say, not as I do. I'm going to take the safety bit of plastic off of there. And we're going to see if there's any power. Now, some people, not so much on the facelift cars, but certainly on the pre-facelift cars, have bought stereos and they can't get any, either can't get any sound out of it or they can't get any power out of it. Now, we have that red and black wire at the back, which I do not know what they are. And there doesn't appear to be anything that will plug into it. I haven't plugged the mic in yet, and we have got this as well, which is the two USBs, which we haven't plugged in, so I'm not worried about those for the time being. But there's nothing there that plugs into that, so I'm not really sure what it is. I mean, that one looks like it would fit, but that has red, black, green and white, but that's a USB, so I don't think that's anything to do with it. But the other one is the same. Right, if we turn the ignition on, hopefully, shut the door, this is going to power up. What do you reckon? Right, what do we think? When I power this up, is it going to work? Let's try it. Yes, we have power. Wonderful. Will we have any sound, I wonder? Well, we're not tuned into anything at the moment, are we? So it's showing the car. Get rid of that. So if we go to FM, well, we got sound. Let's tune it into something. How do we actually tune in? I'm using me controls on the steering wheel, which you can't see, and it's changing it. So steering wheel controls are working. So if we do scan, doesn't seem to be a very strong signal, but we might even find that that aerial thing's come out. I've got a feeling I need a better aerial on this car anyway, but everything's 87.5, isn't it? So what we need to do is we need to find out. Yes. Oh no, that's all right. Look. Trying to connect it to Capital. It's not finding many stations, I have to say.
Statue by Emma Smith Barton was read by...
Finding Radio London.
And it is a new way of being taught. Would you want your...
Yeah, it's found Capital Radio.
Friday to Sunday, online only. Exclusions apply. Minimum delivery spend, charges and restrictions apply. T's and C's, see dominoes.co.uk.
So we're going to program that in.
Your radio. On Global Player and on your smart speaker. Play Capital.
Right, so that's working. So it does appear to be working. So with this GPS antenna, as long as the cable's long enough, which it should be, it looks quite long, what I'll do is I'll run it behind here, out there, over there, behind the thing there, and just stick it to the windscreen just in the corner there. If it has got, it doesn't need line of sight, but I think we'll probably get a better signal if it has got line of sight. But so far, so good. Steering wheel controls work. There's no flashing mileage. And it looks the absolute business. I'm really looking forward to getting this all installed. So I will be back. I'm just going to neaten it all up, run everything where it needs to go, and then we'll try it all. Right, just to give you a bit of a heads up of how I've done this. So what I've done, if you get one hand in here, and then you get your microphone and your GPS, and you one at a time feed them down there. It's basically running behind there. You need to put it over the top or the bottom of the heater vent, because obviously when you put that back in, you don't want it getting caught. So probably underneath is probably better. Yeah, well, actually one's gone above and one's gone below. That's fine, as long as they're not in the way. I might actually put them both below. There's plenty of cable. That's it. So the GPS antenna I've stuck there. As I say, you could stick it on that there if you wanted to, but I just thought for a better signal I'd put it there. And then the microphone we've run up behind here, and then a bit tricky to get up there without it keep falling out, and then we've popped it on there for the time being. I might move it slightly from there, but to facilitate you getting it through that little hole, if you take that off and take that off, then it gives you plenty of room to get the microphone and the GPS antenna through there. And if you did decide to put a USB, what do you call it, a DAB plus in, you could do the same with that as well. I think, I can't even find it now, I don't know what I've done with it. I've got a feeling what this is, I've got a feeling that if you are not using if you didn't have one of these, rather than it plugging into that, I think probably what you could do is you could plug that into it, and you could have an additional trailing USB lead. And so they're not very long, these trailing USB leads. I have got it. It is down here. It's just here. Obviously, it'll be a bit longer once the stereo goes back into position. But yeah, that's basically it. And then everything else you just push in, and that's it. Job done. I did put the protective sleeve back on there because I don't want to damage the screen. So I think we can now get the stereo all pushed back, getting all the cables all fed back in, make sure they're all done up tight, and then we can get the screws in. So I'll just do that, get the screws in, and then we'll come back and we'll fit the surround and then get it all back together again. And then hopefully we won't need to take it out again. Hopefully it'll all work as I'm expecting it to. And that'll be it, job done. I've screwed it back in, and I just wanted to go to navigation, just to make sure that we are getting the signal. As you can see there, you can see all the satellites, so the lights on it, you can see all the satellites that we're getting the signal from. So it's 10 out of 10. So that's good. So we've got a nice strong signal. Yeah, I'm just sort of having a little play with it really. It's got Waze already built into it as well. So once you're connected to the internet, you can just use Waze. Anyway, what I do like about this one is you've got a proper volume knob. You can use your steering wheel buttons if you want to. And of course that's what they're for. But we have actually got a proper volume knob. I like that. Yeah, really nice. The only thing I need to set up, which I will do, figure out how to do it, is set up the wireless Apple CarPlay. Don't know how to do that yet, but I'm going to get all this back together, and then we'll have a look at it when it's in situ and basically finished and ready to use. Right, I'll just quickly have that little blast there. So I just thought I'd try various ways of connecting music to the car. So what I've done there is I have plugged a USB stick in. It's just got an MP3 on it into that trailing lead, and it works fine. All you do is you click on the music. Let me go home, show you. So I clicked on there, it's already playing, and then you just basically select the USB symbol, and it will show any USBs that are plugged in, and yeah, you just select your tracks. You just have to format the USB stick as a FAT32, and then whatever it's in there, it will play. I don't think it will work with folders. I think it will only look at the root directory, but that's how it works on that one. And it's shown as USB 0, so the other one was USB 1, this one is USB 0, and that confirms that the included USB socket is wired into the stereo using that converter plug. So that's good that it doesn't make that redundant. So if we go into USB 0, it again shows Ibiza Summer Mix. We click on that and it'll play it, which it is now. There you go. So that works as well. Next thing to try is see if we can figure out how to connect to Apple wireless CarPlay.
2 points behind Man City.
Fantastic.
Unbeaten.
Yeah. I'll have to watch it. I guess it'll be on Match of the Day tonight. I just filmed that little bit. My father-in-law just called me to tell me that Arsenal won against Tottenham. So I just thought I'd include that little bit in the footage. I'm still battling here trying to get Apple CarPlay to work. I don't know how to do it. I'm trying to figure it out, but I will come back to you. But phone works anyway. I found it at long last. I actually found it. Right, so it's a little app called T-Link. So it's saying it's connecting, and it did come up when I finished setting up CarPlay. Use CarPlay with Z-Link. Use CarPlay. There you go. It's done it. We can change it within the settings on that app. We can change it to driver position right. So that might actually show us, hopefully, that the right door is open. Floating navigation, I'm not quite sure what that is. Background connection on. That was switched off before, so I think that might be what that is. Default connection type last mode. Check for updates about. So I'm hoping that might do it now. So if we go back into settings, why is that not going back? Here we go. So if we go back home, go back to, where's it gone? T-Link 5. Oh, it takes me straight back into it. Yeah, I think that will be it. I'm going to try it again and see if it will do it. But it looks like you need to set it up in those settings, which will come up if you're not connected. I did plug back into the wire just in case it was that was causing it, but it will obviously do it. Oh, here we go. If we press car, I don't know what X test is. T-Link will just take us straight back to that because, of course, it's already connected. So let's switch off, and that will then go off. As I say, this will work whether it's wired or wireless, so we're plugged in for the time being. So if we switch back on, yeah, it takes us straight back into it. Oh, that's good. Yeah, whatever your last state was, it takes you back into it. So your Apple CarPlay comes up straight away. So yeah, you can use your maps. You can. That's all that's on my phone. I haven't got music on my phone. So press the home button, and it will take you back to the actual car thing. So that's it. It's done. It works. So Apple CarPlay works. I'm glad I figured that out, how to do that. So let me just go through it one more time. So to link to Apple iPlay, you have to make sure your phone is not connected to a Wi-Fi network. So I had to disconnect from my home network because I'm parked on the driveway here. So I've disconnected, so you're not connected to a network. You then go into Bluetooth on the stereo. You then, into settings, obviously I've already added it, so you add your phone to it, Paul's iPhone in this case. You then go back home once you, let me just, what we did with the phone book. So I downloaded my phone book, Paul's iPhone, we're in the wrong thing, hang on. Oh no, here we go. See, my phone book has all been downloaded onto there. So if we then go to back home, once you've downloaded your phone book, it will completely do that. You have to do that to be able to connect properly to the Apple CarPlay. This is presumably exactly the same for doing it on Android Auto as well. Once you've done that, you then go to that app, which is called T-Link 5. Once you click on that, it just does it. It automatically does it. It will come up on your phone like you saw, saying complete setup. You complete your setup, and it just works. Simple as that. So that's great. So if you've got it on that screen, I imagine when you turn it off, it will come back onto that screen. It might automatically load CarPlay, but if you want CarPlay again, you just go back into your app and press the T-Link 5, and it will come up however you want it, like that. And your music, etc. You can go to your actual apps themselves, and then we can go on here. We should have Spotify, so I can go into my Spotify, and this is working off my phone, of course. There's my Spotify, comes up straight away. Yeah, as good as that. So it's a perfect, beautiful screen. It's a 1024 by 768, so it's an IPS screen, which is basically 1080p. So it's a really nice resolution. I've just had a WhatsApp message. Look, yeah, this is. I can't see anything on here that's not perfect. It worked. Once I'd figured out how to actually connect it, it was actually quite easy. So I say that will work wired or wirelessly. It doesn't matter which way around. Yeah, works a treat. So I think you'll agree that is a fantastic bit of kit. £92, all of that functionality, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, wired and wireless. Your connections work. Existing connections with the car work. Easy when you know how. Hopefully this will show you that you can set it up in minutes, rather it's taken me a while to figure out how to do that, and I did have to refer to another YouTube video to try and do it, but and then it made me realise that the only reason it didn't work for me is because I was connected to my home Wi-Fi. So just make sure that when you first set it up, you're not connected to any Wi-Fi networks, and it will work first time. £92 from AliExpress, delivered within about 7 or 8 days, something like that, from when I ordered it. There were no taxes to pay. I didn't get a bill from the Royal Mail or anything like that, so there was no tax to pay. You pay the tax at source when you order it. Yeah, so no import charges, which was good. 92 quid. So that's it. If you have got a facelift car and you want to get an all singing, all dancing, OEM looking stereo, this is the one. This is the one. This is not the bottom spec. The bottom spec only has wired CarPlay, which is 1 GB and I think 16 GB. This is 2 GB, 32 GB. So 2 GB of RAM, 32 GB of ROM memory. So we've got initial USB sockets in the car. We've got the trailing USB socket. We don't have an SD card slot. I don't think. That's the only thing we haven't got on here, but do we really need one? Not really. A nice volume button in the middle of the screen, like that, rather than this type of rocker button. All of these work. I didn't have to set any of these up. They all worked straight away. It's just fantastic. Absolutely great. One button to take you to your Sat Nav application. One button to take you to FM radio, equalizer, and one button to take you to the home screen. So the home screen will take you back there. What's not to like? Absolutely brilliant. I really can't recommend this stereo highly enough. I'm going to get more of these, I think, in future cars. Definitely going to get more of these. So yeah, hope this has really helped you. If you want a good stereo for a really, really cheap price, this is the one to get. So I'm not affiliated with, as you can imagine, I'm not affiliated with AliExpress or anyone else for that matter. This is just my recommendation. I've bought this, I did a little bit of research, bought this, installed it with less than an hour, and it works out the box. First time, no problems whatsoever. So, thanks for watching. Hope this has been informative for you. Don't forget, if you're not a subscriber, subscribe to the channel, give us a thumbs up. Interested to read your comments, any questions you've got on this stereo or Fiat 500s in general, obviously ask away. Yeah, thanks for watching. As always, until the next one, take care, stay safe, and we'll see you soon.